Pete here from Lifeline Australia on the occasion of National Volunteering Week, and I'm joined by Dominic Lavers, who some of you know as the Public Affairs Manager for Lifeline Australia, but Dom's here for another reason today, which we'll get to very shortly. First and foremost, thank you, of course, and that goes out to all 11,000 of our volunteers. Everyone who volunteers for Lifeline is in the business of saving lives. So whether or not you're driving a forklift in a warehouse, or you are manning one of our retail shops, or you're one of our crisis supporters, 3,500 to 4,000 crisis supporters, you're all important for that cause of reducing suicide and confronting that national emergency that we find ourselves in at the moment. I've met so many wonderful volunteers in my time here. I was in a retail shop in Geelong, and I asked the 4 ladies who were working there that day how much time they had given to Lifeline, and the cumulative total was 130 years of volunteering between 4 ladies. And another example, out in country New South Wales, speaking to one of our CSs, she's been on the phones for us for 23 years. And there are more examples like that right across the network. A gentleman on the northern beaches who is physically handicapped but still comes in and works a 4-hour CS shift and has been doing so for something like 30 years. Amazing people, rightly called the SAS of Australian volunteering, the Special Angel Service. And now, our star. Dom, can you tell me a little bit about your Lifeline volunteering journey?
Yeah, well, Pete, I have been here for about a year now, and I have always been inspired through my conversations with a lot of volunteers out there, particularly the telephone crisis boys, who I've spoken to quite a few of now. And I found that not only they do a fantastic job and their cause is really worthy, but in my everyday job, you know, I'm writing media releases, talking points, talking to centre managers, I found that I was learning the most about what we actually do at Lifeline through my conversations with telephone crisis supporters. And their stories for becoming telephone crisis supporters were really touching, and then just about the kind of issues that we deal with, you know, the everyday crises. And I think crisis can be a very broad term, quite vague, but when you actually sort of drill down into some of these conversations that our telephone crisis supporters are having with everyday Australians, it really becomes clear the kind of isolation, you know, the pressures that the people out there in the community face. So my first shift is Sunday,
right.
And I'm nervous, I'm scared, but I've been trained well. I really enjoyed the training, and I think I've just got to trust in that when I get on the phones.
Yeah, some of what we do on the phones I like to think of as soulful solidarity, that process of connecting and listening. So you've obviously put your hand up to be a volunteer for Lifeline. You've now gone through the CS training. What did you think of the CS training?
I thought the training was fantastic. I think the work of Lifeline Canberra in getting us ready was amazing. They've got a great camaraderie amongst their trainers there, and they bring you into the Lifeline family, and you feel like you've got great support. They were so available. I mean, I had some wonderful trainers who said, give us a call anytime, we'll do a role play, we'll really sort of drill down into the areas that you might not be feeling confident about, whether you're taking a mental health call, a suicide call, or just a standard crisis call. And I really shouldn't say standard because they vary so greatly. But
so what did you think of the other people volunteering as you went through your training? What impressions did you have?
We're good friends now. Yeah, it's the kind of things you talk about together when you're going through the training. You really have to open up yourself and allow yourself to be vulnerable, and in that kind of space with the other trainees, you know, you sort of form a bond. You talk about things that you probably don't talk about with your friends, your family. It's just a different space.
Really cool. Thank you, Dom. That's Dom's volunteering story, and we're proud to say that here at National Office we now have 5 trained CSs on our professional staff. So our professional staff also act as volunteers, and I see that right around the country. It's a wonderful thing. Dom's told us his story. We'd love to hear your volunteers and your volunteering story. Associated with this video, you're going to find a link, an email, where we welcome your story. Tell us why you decided to become a Lifeline volunteer, what you find really rewarding about it. What difference do you feel that you're making as a Lifeline volunteer? We want those stories. Send them in. And finally, thank you very much again on National Volunteering Week.